So many people feel that the makeup of the current standing committee of 7, that it reflects the dominant influence of Jiang Zemin, and that Hu Jintao lost out. And I partly agree with that, but not quite 100%, because my view of it is that these factional relationships are not that clear and exclusive as they used to be, actually, under Mao, when I think there were quite very clear factional lines, and now it's more mixed. And I would describe the makeup of the current standing committee as kind of safe, if you will. These are consensus candidates that everybody could more or less agree upon. They have real achievements in their policy, and they also have connections. China is not a rule of law society yet, right? And so I think in a society that's not a rule of law society, the element of personal trust is even more important. It's important in every society, but it's even more important. And the people who've been promoted are the ones that have wide networks of personal trust, partly because many of them are the so-called princelings. So the power elite has known these guys since they were born in many cases, and knows their family, and knows, their parents and all of their brothers and sisters and cousins and everything. So I think trust is an important factor. So you have people who know how to behave in this elite circle and have been good boys, for their whole life. That's the kind of person that's been promoted, and I think that Hu Jintao has been criticized a lot. Both he and Wen Jiabao have been widely criticized for, not doing enough while they were in power. And I really don't know how to read the mind of Hu Jintao, but I think he probably would feel that he is satisfied with the normal role of a retired elder, which is a very honorable and distinguished role with some voice. And he's not trying to create a personal faction in the leadership. And Jiang Zemin's been around even longer than Hu Jintao. So in a certain way, it's logical that there'd be more people with long connections, because Hu Jintao served for 10 years as a junior guy under Jiang Zemin. He's still a junior guy now, even as a retired general secretary and a retired head of state. He's still junior in the system. That's kind of Chinese culture. So now, in 5 years from now, 5 of the members of the current standing committee have to retire. This is, speaking of institutionalization, this is an interesting aspect of it. They're so strict about the age rules. And the age rule is that if you're going to become 70 in your next term if you've reached the age of 70, or you're going to become 70 within the next 5-year term of office, at least in the first few years of that 5-year term, then you need to retire from these top posts, so that the leadership remains predominantly a leadership of people in their 60s, which to me seems like a kind of crazy idea, because I think people in their 70s are very, very qualified. We've had some, people being president of the United States in their 70s that were vigorous and did a good job. But the Chinese have decided on this age rule. People have to be in their 60s. And so 5 of the people are going to go out. And then you're going to see people coming in, presumably from the Politburo. So again, the system is very orderly, right? Everybody takes one step at a time. So you step up into the Politburo, like Wang Yang, and you stay there for 5 years. And if you continue to do a good job, you're eligible for the final promotion around the age of 65. It's a very, in that sense, very orderly and institutionalized system. And I think it cultivates policy continuity. It cultivates collective leadership, because these guys know one another for decades, really. And the system spits out somebody like Bo Xilai, who doesn't play that particular game. So, of course, the danger of a system like this is that you're sort of cranking out these guys that are all the same as each other, or so-called organization men, who only know how to do the old thing that they did, and when they face a new challenge, they don't know how to adjust. that's a danger, but I'm not sure I see that characteristic in these leaders. They actually seem to be pretty smart right now. So, and that's key to the vitality of the system, is that people are promoted who are smart, energetic, and flexible in their thinking, and we'll see if that's the case.